How's it going, Shane?
What's going on, Tim? How are you?
Not much, just watching some football right now. It's weird doing a show on a Sunday, but because of Thanksgiving, we had to push it off a couple days in the States.
Well, it wasn't a holiday up here. I could have went, but
Yeah.
welcome, guys, to Inside the Ice. We are gonna continue our countdown of the top 50 current NHL players. Tim, are you revved up and excited for this one?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for this one. We got some real studs on this top 20.
Are you revved up and excited? And he still
I can't
stays
hear you,
as
Jake.
monotone as possible.
Can't hear you.
All right. So, Tim, do you want to, get things going right away with number 20, continuing our countdown?
Yeah, sure. I'll go number 20, defenseman John Carlson, Massachusetts native. Shout out right there. Drafted 27th overall in 2008 by the Caps. Last season, he had 75 points in 69 games. He was a Norris finalist this past season, too. He's a two-time All-Star, first-team All-Star in 2020, second-team All-Star in 2019. He's gotten more points than I actually expected. Seven games played, 478 points. That's pretty good defenseman.
I mean, and one thing that kind of stands out to me about John Carlson is the fact that he scored 50-plus point seasons 4 times in his career, which is just like that just kind of solidifies his legacy as a top defenseman in the league. And not only that, but he's got a 92 career plus minus, which is huge for a defenseman.
Absolutely. And he was born, I believe, in Massachusetts and then moved to New Jersey. But American-born player, the last 3 years, he's put up 213 231 games. That's almost a point per player. A point per game, excuse me. So, yeah, John Carlson, number 20. You want to hit number 19?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to kind of go back there real quick about John Carlson. Like, you said 213 points in 231 games. For a defenseman, like, that is crazy. Like, I knew that John Carlson he was always kind of, like, played to be an offensive defenseman. But 213 points, that's like 0.90 points per game in the last 3 seasons, which is nuts for a defenseman.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, last season he had, like, 75 points in 69 games. He was over a point per game last season, too. So, I mean, definitely, I think, I honest to God think, I will say this probably for a while now, but John Carlson got absolutely snubbed on the Norris Trophy last year.
Oh, I think he's gotten snubbed multiple years just because he's really, like, this big name defenseman,
Yeah, I mean, John Carlson, he had my vote for the Norris last season for sure. He was unreal, and he ended up not winning it, and I was shocked. But I mean, that's probably was the biggest award snub of all of last season, was John Carlson not winning the Norris.
And even in 2018, when the Caps won the Cup, he played 24 games in that postseason and scored 5 goals and recorded 15 assists. So even in the playoffs, when they won the Cup, he was almost a point per game player.
Yeah, like unreal. Like, and how this guy has not won a Norris in his career is just mind blowing to me. Like, it's just crazy. He's definitely going to win one soon, though. Like, next season, I got John Carlson to win it. That's for sure. We're going to go into number 19. Now, this is the player that actually snubbed the Norris Trophy away from John Carlson this past season. Number 19, Norris Trophy winner in 2020, defenseman for the Nashville Predators, Roman Josi, who's also the captain. He's a native of Switzerland. He was drafted 38th overall by the 2008 Nashville Predators. And last season, he scored 65 points and a plus 22, split between 16 goals and 49 assists in 69 games. So, I mean, Roman Josi still had himself a great season by all means. But, I mean, John Carlson played the same amount of games as him and got 10 more points.
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at it. But, I mean, like Roman Josi, look over the last 3 years, 174 points, a 55 plus minus. That's over 226 games. And then in his career, he's got 413 points in 632 career games. He's a 3-time All-Star, Stanley Cup finalist, and obviously a Norris Trophy this past season. So I mean, definitely a great candidate for the Norris Trophy. I personally wouldn't have picked him to win it, but definitely a defenseman that's deserving of it for sure.
Yeah, I was definitely a little surprised when he won it this year. I think maybe in the couple years he probably could have won it, but I think the main difference of him winning it and Carlson this year is Roman Yossi was on Nashville, who they aren't really that good like at the moment compared to what they were in the past couple years. Carlson is on the Caps; they just won a couple. So maybe the situation Roman Yossi did that with a Nashville team that's worse than the Capitals. That's probably what got him out this year.
And I mean, honestly, like the way I look at it is like the Norris candidates this year were Carlson and Hedman.
Yeah.
Out of those three players, I personally would have put Yossi third.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would have put third. And then Hedman and Carlson are like, you can either or, honestly. Those are definitely the top defensemen in the league at this point.
Yeah.
But internationally, being from Swiss, he's not going to have, the greatest team around him. But he won a silver medal in the World Championships in 2013, where he got 9 points in 10 games. And then in 2016, when he was on Team Europe in the World Cup of Hockey, he got silver. And he's silver in the 2018 World Championships. So even being from the Swiss, he's good internationally, which is impressive.
And Switzerland's actually put up some very competitive teams, not only in the World Championships, but in the World Juniors as well. Switzerland's been pretty, pretty elite, a pretty elite team in those international tournaments over the past few years, for sure. Yeah. Definitely getting better. Do you want to hit number 18?
Yeah. So number 18, Jonathan Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I just want to point out, Tim. I was doing the notes for this game, and I was like, Jonathan Tavares. What? His name's John, not Jonathan. By the way, I looked that up.
But last season, he's got 60 points in 63 games. In the course of his career, between the Islanders and the Leafs, 814 games played for 769 points. He does have a minus 30 plus minus, which is interesting to me. But has he really been on like an elite team ever in his career?
I mean, the first 5, 6, 7 years he was on the Islanders, they weren't competitive at all. The Islanders just first started getting competitive the last, 3 seasons ago. And you know what I mean?
100 career power play goals, 54 career game winning goal. He's got 480 seasons and 530 plus goal seasons. That's impressive right there.
And I mean, one thing that when I was writing the article for the 22-11 article that will be released after this episode, one thing that I did notice, he's got 100 power play goals, but he's got over like 280 power play points.
Yeah,
which I mean, you look at that, it ended up being 33% of his career points were on the power play. That's one third of his points in his career scored on the power play, which is crazy, absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and like I think he kind of reminds me of the center style of like Sidney Crosby, where his playmaking ability is so underrated. Yeah. Everybody like remembers him for scoring goals and stuff, but the amount of assists is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, 424 assists, definitely. And I mean, he's been the captain. He's definitely a leader in the league. He was a captain with the Islanders at a very young age. He's been a captain ever since. Obviously, he is a captain of the Maple Leafs now. But I mean, like 4 80-plus point seasons, 5 30-plus goal seasons. The guy is definitely an elite player. And his best season obviously came in 2019, where he scored 47 goals, 41 assists for 88 points in 82 games. That was his first season in Toronto, and he scored 47 goals, and he finished like second or third place in goals in the league. So I mean, definitely, the guy can put the puck in the net for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and I think of all the contracts up in Toronto, he's probably the one that is actually like he earns his money. Like Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Nylander, they're all younger guys. What have they really done?
Yeah,
salaries besides pre-draft,
Yeah, that's just it, right? And I mean, Toronto's going to be in cap hell for tons of years because they've got 4 guys like Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and Tavares all making $40 million. That's half the salary cap tied up in 4 guys. So they're going to be in salary hell for as long as those 4 guys are on the team.
Absolutely.
But I mean, Tavares definitely $11 million a year he's making right now. Definitely worth it. Yeah, I mean, he's probably one of the only guys right now that I would even pay over $10 million on the Leafs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then looking at the internationally with John Tavares with Team Canada, he's got gold medals in everything that he's played with Team Canada. He won the gold medal in the 2008 World Juniors. He won gold again in the following year in 2009 World Juniors. That one, look at this, 15 points in 6 games.
Yeah, he was MVP, best forward, and on the All-Star team, and he showed up that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got him like on the highlight, you know.
And I mean, that was a 2009 World Juniors, and he got drafted first overall that following summer. So I mean, I think that 15 points in 6 games really solidified John Tavares's, first overall draft selection for sure.
What's interesting to me is he was on the 2014 Olympic gold medal team, but he got 0 points in 4 games. But at the same time, like
that Olympic team was nuts, though.
Like, get the other names on that. If he didn't get points, oh well, there was plenty of points.
I think Tavares was actually like a 4th liner on that 2014 Olympic team, which is like just goes to show you, like if a guy like John Tavares can be a 4th liner on an Olympic team, that goes to show you kind of the depth that Team Canada had that Olympics.
Yeah, whenever the NHL players are allowed in the Olympics in Canada, like there's too many.
You might as well hand the gold medal to Canada. Not to brag or anything. All right, so number 17, we're going to get to the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, Claude Giroux. Drafted 22nd overall by the 2006 Philadelphia Flyers. He's been with the Flyers his entire career, has yet to win a cup with the Flyers. But last season, he had 53 points, including 21 goals, 32 assists in 69 games. Over the last 3 seasons, he's been over a point per game player with a plus-minus of 46, which is impressive. And then 77 goals, 163 assists for 240 points in 233 games. So he's just over that point per game percentage, but he's definitely one of the best players on Philadelphia for sure. And then over his career, he's almost at a point per game as well. 257 goals and almost like more than double the amount of assists. So 257 goals, 558 assists for 815 points in 889 games. Plus 43 in career and 44 game-winning goals, 80 power play goals, 4 80-plus point seasons. I mean, the guy's an elite player no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. And what stands out to me is whenever I think of Claude Giroux, I always think of him as a two-way or a defensive forward like Patrice Bergeron. Like, you can't beat him in the face-off circle. You're not going to.
Yeah.
And if you look, like, number-wise, the Flyers are always in the top 2 or 3 teams in the league for faceoffs going back for like the entire time he's been there. But he's a 3-time Art Ross finalist from most points in the league, which I wouldn't necessarily pin him out to be like that much of a point producer. I know he can score goals and set up plays, but I look at him as more of a solid two-way
forward. Yeah. And I mean, I do think that the past 2 seasons for sure he kind of more shifted his game to be like that, but I do remember in like 2012, 2014, 2015 he was always top of the league in scoring almost every single season. And I mean, going back to the Flyers in the faceoff circle, you got Giroux as your top centerman and then Couturier as your second centerman, and those 2 guys never lose faceoffs.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you said, he hasn't brought a cup back to Philly yet, but he did make a final appearance in 2010. And that run, he played 23 games and put up 21 points.
Yeah.
So there's your points right there.
Yeah.
He got 10 goals that year in the playoffs, and 2 of them were game-winning goals. So he's absolutely an instrumental piece to Philly.
I was so badly cheering for Philadelphia in 2010 when they lost to Chicago there in the Stanley Cup final. When I was like 14, 15 years old, I would have been 15 in 2010. I really, really like Claude Giroux. He was one of my favorite players in the league. Even though I'm an Oilers fan, Claude Giroux's always been one of my favorite players. I just love the way the guy plays. He's so smooth with the puck.
Yeah.
And he's definitely, he deserves to be number 17, maybe even a little bit higher. But, I love the way the guy plays for sure.
And just like John Tavares, pretty much whatever he plays internationally, he wins gold besides 2017.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
like, put Giroux and Tavares on the same roster for Team Canada.
Yeah.
Will pretty much beat any team in the world.
Yeah, exactly. All right, number 16, Tim.
Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman Victor Hedman. He's
Mhm.
going to be 30 this coming season.
Yep.
From Sweden, he was drafted second overall in 2009 by Tampa Bay. This past season, he put up 55 points in 66 games. I honestly thought that he would have been the guy that took home the Norris, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Over the course of his career, though, I just want to say this real quick. I've known that he's been around in the league for a long time, but I did not know that he's played 762 games.
Yeah, that I know that was wild to me. I didn't even think he was as old as he is. I thought he was like 2 years older than me, like 26, 27. But he'll be 30 in December, and he was drafted second overall, right behind John Tavares in the 2009 draft. But his best season came in 2017. Victor Hedman's did 16 goals, 56 assists for 72 points in 79 games. And like you said, if there would have been anyone that would have beat John Carlson in the Norris conversation this year, I would have probably picked Hedman over Yossi.
Absolutely.
That was just a complete surprise to me.
And look at his plus minus over the course of his career. This past season, 27 plus minus. Last 3 years, a plus 83. Over the course of his career, 116.
For a defenseman is absolutely wild. 116.
That's phenomenal for a defenseman.
Yeah.
Granted, he is on Tampa Bay. That entire Tampa Bay stacked. So if you're a good player on a great team, you're probably going to look good. But even that, 116 plus minus, that's incredible.
One thing that really stands out to me about Victor Hedman is he was either the Norris winner or Norris finalist the past 4 seasons. Every single season since 2017, he's been the top 3 finalists for the Norris, which just goes to show how great of a defenseman he is, in my opinion.
Finally got the cup when they were in the and he was awarded the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
In the playoffs this year, he got 22 points in 25 games with a plus 13 plus minus.
Yeah.
3 winning goals, 3 power play goals. Like, he had a hell of a run, and I think he deserved the Conn Smythe. There was like 4 or 5 guys on that team that could have got the Conn Smythe.
Braden Point, I thought, was going to get it.
Yeah.
And we'll get into Braden Point a little bit later on in the show, but Braden Point had an unreal playoffs. Again, we'll get into that a little bit later, but I thought he was going to win the Conn Smythe for sure.
Absolutely.
Number 15. Now, you talk about stacked resumes. This guy on number 15 has literally seen it all. Centerman for the Pittsburgh Penguins, not Sidney Crosby, the other one, Evgeny Malkin. Number 15. Drafted second overall in 2004 by the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he's been with the Penguins his entire career. Now, listen, I'm going to list off some of the stuff that this guy's accomplished. Over the course of his career, he has 1,076 points in 907 games played, which converts into like a 1.19 point per game over the course of his career. That being said, he's got 3 100-plus point seasons, 6 30-plus goal seasons. He's a 7-time NHL All-Star. He's got the Calder Trophy in 2007, 2-time Art Ross Trophy winner, and 1-time Art Ross finalist. He won the Hart Trophy, the Ted Lindsay Award in 2012. He was a 3-time Stanley Cup champion with the Penguins, won the Conn Smythe in 2009. There is nothing that this guy has not achieved.
And he's a second line center. He's a second line center. And like you said, the Conn Smythe in 2009, that playoffs in 24 games, he scored 36 points.
Yeah.
Like,
crazy. 36 points in 14 goals, 22 assists. And 3 of those were game winners. Like, unreal.
And you had Sidney Crosby above you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll take a second line center that scores 36 points in the playoff.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, but ever since 2009, though, the Penguins have been stacked.
Yeah.
Like when they won back-to-back cups there, 2015, 2016, no one was touching either one of those Penguins teams. Both those teams were built to win. Even though, as much as I hate the Penguins, they were built to win. And I mean, you look at Malkin's best season in 2009, 35 goals, 78 assists for 113 points in 82 games. And then in 2012, he backed that up with 50 goals, 59 assists for 109 points in 75 games. And 50 goals, he didn't even win the Rocket Richard that year. I think that was Ovechkin.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Mm-hmm.
And nationally, he's playing for Russia. So it seems to me Russia always either wins like bronze or silver.
Yeah.
And he's got a whole lot of that. I think his best international performance was back in 2012 in the World Championships. He got 11 goals and 8 assists in 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Was a MVP and best forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think, granted, Malkin is definitely getting up there. He's 34 years old. He's not in his prime anymore, but he's still a deadly second center. And back in that 2009 to 2013 era, and even like you said, 2016, 2017, he was an unbelievable forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he still is an unbelievable forward, 34 years old. This past season, he put up 74 points in 55 games. So, I mean, he's not slowing down at all. Malkin still got, a lot of good years he had ahead of him. And, I mean, still a second-line centerman, 34-year-old second-line centerman that puts up 74 points in 55 games. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll take that up in Edmonton real fast.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, well, we got McDavid and Draisaitl. I mean, I wouldn't trade them for Malkin. Number 14, another Massachusetts native to go along with Tim and John Carlson. Jack Eichel, captain of the Buffalo Sabres, 24 years old. He was drafted second overall behind Connor McDavid, obviously, in the 2015 NHL draft by the Sabres. Last season, he was a +5. He had 36 goals, 42 assists for 78 points in 68 games. And over the last 3 years, Jack Eichel has 89 goals, 135 assists for 224 points in 212 games. So he's, over the last 3 seasons, he's been a point-per-game player, more than that. And he's just under a point per game in his career. I think he's like 0.96 or something. But over the course of his career, he's got 137 goals and an even 200 assists for 337 points in 354 games.
On a Buffalo team that ain't the greatest situation for him.
Well, and I mean, Eichel has a career -60.
Exactly.
Which goes to show you like how shitty the Sabres have been since he's been on the team. But the guy doesn't even have any playoff experience either. He's never made the playoffs in his career, and he's still putting up like crazy numbers. Like he's about almost a point per game player on a Sabres team that has not been good.
And he's -60.
Mm-hmm.
That just shows you how bad of a situation that is. He's a 3-time guy. So when you're continuously being the one chosen because I believe now they select at least one person from each team to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So one guy from Buffalo is going to go every year. But if he's the guy that's always going and he's the guy that's putting up a point per game, like you said, and he's still 60 in his career, that if I was Jack Eichel, I'd be like, what the hell is going on? Can I get out?
One thing about Jack Eichel that I will defend him on, that -60, I mean, the guy plays 25, 26 minutes a night, So when he's playing that much minutes on a night per game, and they lose, 5-3 in a game, and he's on the ice for 3 or 4 of those goals. I mean, like he could score 3 goals, and he could score 3 goals one game, and then be on the ice when the other team, scores 4, and then he's a -1 on the day.
Yeah, you got a hat, so a minus.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it just goes to show you kind of, when he plays the amount of minutes he has been playing, I mean, a -60 does not really surprise me because he's pretty much the only player other than Taylor Hall now that they got in the offseason that the Buffalo Sabres really, have a big name on their team.
Absolutely. So, number 13.
Oh, God, I hate this guy.
But, one of my favorite guys in the league. Brad Marchand, Nova Scotian native, so Eastern Canada too, which is even better for you, Shane.
Yeah, moving on.
71st overall in 2006 by Boston. This past season, he put up 87 points in 70 games with a plus 25. In the past 3 years, he's put up 272 points in 217 games. That's well over a per game. And he's 98 goals in those 3 years. Over the course of his career, he's played 751 games, scored 290 goals, 356 assists, and 646 points. He's a 221 plus minus. That is
crazy.
Surprising. Considering the style of player that he is, I would expect that from like Patrice Bergeron, 52 power play goals and 56 game winning goals. He's got 4 30-plus goal seasons, 7 50-plus point seasons. He won the Cup as a young NHLer in 2011. Gone back to the Cup twice, but has not won another one. So 2013, we lost to Chicago. 2019, we obviously lost to the Blues. 2-time All-Star. I think he's absolutely crucial to the Bruins.
He is. And, like you as a Bruins fan, Tim, I can see why he's one of your favorite guys in the league. But if you are not a Bruins fan, you do not like Brad Marchand. You do not like Brad Marchand at all. I mean, for me, being an Oilers fan, when the Bruins lost in Game 7 to the Blues in 2019, there was nothing I loved more than seeing Brad Marchand on the bench crying.
Oh yeah, and there was so many memes made about it.
Yeah.
He's the player that you love to have on your team, but you hate playing against.
But one thing that I will say about Brad Marchand is the guy, like him crying after the 2019 Stanley Cup final. That was a heartbreaking game. That just goes to show how much heart the guy plays with, how much he loves playing in Boston. And I mean, like you said, he's a great player. Like his best season came in 2019, 36 goals, 64 assists for 100 points.
Yeah.
Like it. I mean, he's a known pest in the league. One thing that I'll never forget is when he licked Ryan Callahan in the 2018 playoffs, which I still can't understand why he would do that. But I mean, 2-time NHL All-Star. The guy's had success playing with Team Canada as well. Like he's won World Juniors gold back-to-back in 2007 and 2008, and then a 2016 gold medal in the World Championships, and another gold in the World Cup of Hockey where he was MVP and scored the most goals. So I mean, the guy can put up. He's only 5'9" too. He's not like he's a big guy either.
No, and he's not young either. He's 32, and he just had 2 of his best seasons in the past 3 years. He, like you said, 100 points in 2019, 85 points in 2018.
Yeah,
so he's like Malkin, where I think maybe he's got a couple more years, but who knows how long he can take it.
Yeah, and I mean, like Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, as long as those 3 guys are on the same line, that's going to consistently be the best line in the NHL. Absolutely. Number 12, this guy finally got his cup this year. Captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Steven Stamkos. He's another Canadian native from Ontario, first overall in 2008 by the Lightning. So this guy has over a point per game in his career again. Steven Stamkos actually has more goals than he has assists, 422 goals, 410 assists for 832 points in 803 career games. Last season, in 57 games, he had 66 points with a plus 14. And over the last 3 years, he has 241 points. So between 92 goals and 149 assists in 217 games. So the guy, Steven Stamkos, consistently gets, around that point per game mark every single season he plays. 155 power play goals, which is nuts when you think about it. So I mean, out of 422 career goals, 155 of them came on the power play. And 61 game-winning goals. His best season came in 2019. 45 goals, 53 assists for 98 points in 82 games. Steven Stamkos, I mean, this guy's got another stacked resume.
Oh, yeah. 6-time All-Star, 2-time second-team All-Star. Like you said, Stanley Cup in 2020, Stanley Cup finalist in 2015. Mm-hmm. He won Rocket Richard twice. 3 times he was the finalist. Yep. So between 2010 and 2015, he either won the Rocket Richard or was the finalist. So for 5 years, he dominated. And then
and that's crazy to me because now, like, recently I've never really thought of Steven Stamkos as an actual goal scorer. I thought he was more of like a playmaking forward. But the fact that he either won or was nominated for the Rocket Richard every single year between 2010 and 2015 just kind of
Yeah,
blows my
I
mind. Like,
I think he's more of a goal scorer in the sense where like you see Ovechkin on the power play at the top of the circle always get like 60% of his goals from there. How many times do we see Steven Stamkos on the goal line fire a one-timer and it went in?
well, I mean, and like of the 155 power play goals, how many of those have been either a rebound or like a garbage goal like that? Probably over 100 of them.
Absolutely. But hey, he got 155 power play goals. That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's a good player. Like 490 plus point seasons, 540 plus goal seasons, 6-time All-Star, like you said. I mean, and then internationally with Team Canada, he's got a gold in the 2008 World Juniors, silver in the 2009 Worlds, and in that tournament, he actually scored 7 goals, 4 assists in 9 games, and was an All-Star in the tournament. And then he's got a gold in the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. So he has seen some success playing with Team Canada internationally.
He's got no luck with injuries, though.
No, I mean, like the Stanley Cup that he won in 2020, he missed basically the entire playoffs. He scored the 1 goal in the Stanley Cup Finals that he played maybe 3 shifts.
Yeah, but number 11, another Tampa Bay forward, Braden Point. He's 24, 79th overall in 2014 by Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
He 64 points in 66 games this past season, between 25 goals and 39 assists, had a plus 28. He's almost a point per player in the past 3 years, 222 points in 227 games. And he recorded 92 points in the 2019 regular season, which I believe is his best.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Absolutely crucial in this cup run for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He got 33 points in 23 games played, 3 game-winning goals, 6 power play goals, and he was a plus 12.
See, I mean, at the end of the day, like this is what I was talking about when we were talking about Hedman. The only one that I could see really challenging Hedman for the Conn Smythe this year was Braden Point, just because of those numbers alone. 33 points in 23 playoff games. That's a Conn Smythe performance.
You see numbers like that in the year that Malkin won the Conn Smythe, where he put up 36 in 24 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or was it Kuznetsov when the Caps won? I think he was in the 30s. Someone on the
he was like 34, 35 or something,
which was incredible.
Yeah, and Kuznetsov was Conn Smythe winner that year, right?
I believe
so. Yeah, I don't think it was Ovechkin.
It wasn't, because I wouldn't have been surprised if they gave it to Ovi just because it was his first cup.
I mean, we're gonna get into Ovi later in the show, but I'm just gonna check. He doesn't have a Conn Smythe. Oh, he does. He won Conn Smythe in 2018, so it was Ovechkin.
Yeah.
All right. But Braden Point, internationally with Team Canada, he's won bronze at the 2014 U18 World Juniors, and then at the U20 World Juniors, he won gold, where he scored 4 points in 7 games, and then silver at the 2017 World Championships. Over his career, 262 points in 295 games, and a plus 77.
He's definitely an incredible player. And do you think he'll be the guy that fills Stamkos' shoes if they stay in Tampa?
Absolutely.
Hires?
Absolutely. I mean, Steven Stamkos is 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30, and Braden Point's 24. So, I mean, there's only a 6-year difference. But if Stamkos retires, let's say he retires when he's 40, Braden Point's only 34. So he'll still have those 2, 3, 4 good years left in him, right? And, I mean, Braden Point, I can see being a lifelong Lightning player. He loves playing in Tampa. I mean, who wouldn't love playing in Tampa with the stacked teams they've had in recent years? But
in Florida,
And Florida, yeah, exactly. And I mean, Tampa Bay, out of the 2 Florida teams, Tampa Bay and the Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning fans, hockey is a real thing in Tampa Bay. The fans go crazy for Lightning games. And I mean, then you look at the Panthers, who struggle to get 4,000 people at a game. You know what I mean? Yeah. So definitely, he's playing for the best Florida team. And I mean, like I said, I would love to play in Tampa just with how much success they've had in recent years.
You
Uh,
want next guy since it's from you.
I guess so. I guess so. So number 10, we're gonna get to the top 10 here. California, born in California but raised in Arizona. Austin Matthews, centerman for the Toronto Maple Leafs, my favorite team. Not. First overall, he was drafted by the Leafs in 2016. Last season, he scored 80 points, 47 goals, 33 assists in 70 games with a plus 19. Over the last 3 years, he scored 118 goals and 98 assists for 216 points with a plus 35 in even 200 games. And then over the course of his career, he's got just over a point per game, 158 goals, 127 assists, 285 points in 282 games. So, I mean, looking at those stats, every single, like this season, over the last 3 years, and over his career, he's got more goals than assists, which tells me that Austin Matthews is more of a goal scorer than a playmaker for sure. And that's, what the Toronto Maple Leafs need.
Absolutely. And his rookie year, he put up 40 goals in 82 games. And like,
in his very first game, he scored 4 goals against Ottawa.
Exactly. In his first game, he's scoring 4 goals. He's definitely not like Tavares where he's getting assists. Matthews definitely a goal scorer. And I didn't realize he's 6'3", 220. That's not a small body to be pushing around. So
yeah, I didn't think he was that tall.
And he's only 23 years old. In 2019, he put up 73 points. 4-time All-Star, pretty much ever since he was drafted into the NHL. Won the rookie in 2017. It's just he's in Toronto, and yes, he is one of those 4 that are getting paid $40 million total between the 4 of them. But I don't think he's going to see any success in Toronto.
I don't either, especially when the media for the Maple Leafs. I mean, all the major sporting network stations in Canada are based in Toronto, so the Maple Leafs get insane amount of media coverage up here in Canada, and I don't know if that has to play a factor in it, but with the Leafs losing out in the first round every single year in the playoffs, there's got to be some kind of frustration there. And I think it's just because the media puts so much pressure on this team. They put so much pressure on Austin Matthews because he is arguably the best player on the team. And for those reasons, I don't think he will find success in Toronto. I mean, there's a reason why the Leafs haven't won the Cup in over 50 years. You know what I mean?
They haven't won a Cup since 1967. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, my dad was born in 1967, for God's sakes.
Internationally, he's solid. He's won a gold in the U17 World Juniors, gold in 2014 and 2015 World Juniors, where in 2015, he was voted the MVP, was an all-star, and was the scoring leader, where he got 8 goals and 7 assists in 7 games. So he can play. It's just put him on a team that's going to win a cup, and he'll be phenomenal,
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And I mean, those gold medals that he won with the American international team, I mean, they had guys like Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews on those World Junior teams. I can't think of any ones off the top of my head, but I do remember that they were pretty stacked. I mean, Jack Eichel and Austin Matthews has your 1-2 punch down the middle.
For American teams, they were pretty stacked, but
nothing compared to Canada. All right, Tim, number 9.
Another American-born. Hey, Shane, what's going on? There's a decent amount of people not from Canada in this top 20,
Well, wait till you get to the top, 7.
32 years old, Patrick Kane from Buffalo, drafted first overall by Chicago. He put up 84 points this past season, 70 games played, as one of him and I think Jonathan Toews are the only key parts to Chicago left from those dynasty years. He's played 973 games and put up over 1,000 points with 1,022 to be exact, 389 goals and 633 assists.
Yeah,
this surprises me honestly, because all I see in highlights of Patrick Kane is him scoring clutch game-winning overtime goals, but he's got almost double the amount of assists he has goals.
I mean, to be honest with you, I thought he had more than 389 goals.
I really thought so too.
But yeah, the fact that he has almost double the amount of assists, that does blow my mind for sure. And I mean, 69 plus minus, that's not really surprising. That goes back all those times in the Blackhawks dynasty years in the early 2010s there. 108 power play goals. That does not surprise me at all because, like you said, all you see on highlights is him scoring clutch power play goals and 62 game winners, which is another incredible stat there. Best season came in 2018-2019, 44 goals, 66 assists for 110 points. And I believe he won the Art Ross that year as well.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
No, in 2016, he won the Art Ross, Ted Lindsay, and Hart.
Oh, okay.
But even 2019, on a bad Chicago team, he still put up 110 points.
Yeah.
So 9-time All-Star, 3-time Cup winner, won the Conn Smythe in 2013, where he put up 19 points in 23 games. But he's an absolute stud, and I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon. It's just, what is that Chicago team going to do for him, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, he's 32 years old, to be honest. I thought he wasn't quite that old. I thought maybe he was about 30. But, I mean, with the numbers this guy's put up, I mean, 84 points in 70 games this past season. He's still got, probably 4 or 5 good years left ahead of him. Obviously, Chicago is kind of starting their rebuilding years. Mind you, they were incredible in the playoffs this year. They got killed in the first round, but they beat my Oilers in the play-in series that I'm still choked about. But, I mean, Kane, Taves, and Kubalik, those three guys there for the Blackhawks, I mean, they were firing on all cylinders throughout the 2020 playoffs. And, I mean, the Blackhawks are getting up there in age. They got guys like Duncan Keith on the blue line, who's about 37 years old. But, I mean, they do got some really young stud players on their team, like Kubalik. Kirby Dach is going to be a great player.
Kirby's going to be nice. He's going to
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean...
is Kirby playing in the World Juniors?
I think he's too old. I think he's 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. Don't quote me on that though. But I believe he's too old. If he is playing with Canada, that'd be unreal. But, number 8. So this guy has literally been through it all. He's got like a stacked resume, just like his counterpart from Russia that we went through earlier in the show. Number 8, Alex Ovechkin, captain of the Washington Capitals from Moscow, Russia. First overall in 2014 by the Capitals, so he's a lifelong Capital. This guy, I mean, looking at his stats, it does not surprise me that he has almost 200 more goals than he does assists, because all he does is score goals. This season, in 68 games, he has 67 points, but of those 67 points, 48 of them were goals. Only 19 assists.
He might be the greatest scorer of all time, I think.
You know, like me and you were just talking about this the other day, Tim. You asked me if Ovechkin has a shot at breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record. I truly believe if coronavirus had not come into play with the NHL season, I truly believe he would have a chance, because he's only 35 years old, so he's up there. But, I mean, he did lose those key parts of the seasons where, you know, he could be scoring 30, 40 goals. So I don't think he has a chance at Wayne Gretzky's goal record anymore, unless he plays till he's about 41, 42, which is quite possible. But, I mean, the guy's got 706 goals and 572 assists, 1,278 points in 1,152 games, and a plus 82 overall. I mean, the guy's crazy. He's got his office, as they call him, Ovechkin's office. Top of the circle. He just sits there on the power plays and just slams home one-timers all day, every single game. And, I mean, 11-time All-Star, which is crazy. He's been to the All-Star game 11 times. 9-time Rocket Richard champion as the most goals in the league.
Just think of that. You were the leading goal scorer in the NHL 9 times.
Yeah.
He won on Smythe when they won the Cup. He's a 3-time Pearson Trophy winner.
Yeah.
3-time Hart Trophy winner. Just look at in 2008 to 2010. 2008, he scored 65 goals. 2009, 56 goals, 2010, 50 goals. He was on in those years. And to think that they didn't even win the cup those years, like, it's incredible. He won the Calder as a rookie in 2006, the Art Ross in 2008, but it took him a while to finally get that cup, and he did get that cup. But even Ovechkin, 2018, he's, like you said, 35 now. He wasn't young when they won the cup. He's put up 27 points in 24 games played in 2018.
And going back to what you said about the 08, 09, 2010, where he scored 65, 56, and 50 goals, just doing some quick math there, that's 171 goals in 3 seasons. That's almost 200 goals. Like, crazy. The guy is probably one of the best goal scorers in the league, other than Wayne Gretzky. And I mean, Art Ross Trophy, Rocket Richard, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup winner in 2018. The only thing that this guy does not have is an Olympic medal.
And you can't expect that out of him, I don't think, because Russia, when Russia ever been like the favorites to win the gold medal since like back in the Soviet days, you know?
Yeah, and I mean with the team that Team Canada has on the ice in the Olympics, like I mean 2010 no one was touching them. 2014 especially with Carey Price playing the way he did, no one was touching them. So I mean when you have teams like Canada, Sweden, USA even that fields very, very competitive teams every Olympics, it makes it that much harder for Russia. But the guy, I mean, World Juniors 2002, he won silver, where he scored 14 goals in 8 games.
Yeah. And like this past Winter Olympics, I think seals the deal on like that whole debate. There was no athletes the past Winter Olympics. Guess who won? Russia. So pretty much every time there's no NHL athletes at the Olympics, Russia's going to win. But when it's NHL players, it's going to be Canada. And then every once in a while, it'll be like the U.S., Finland, Sweden will make like a name for themselves. But like it's primarily Russia and Canada.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So yeah, Alex Ovechkin comes in at number 8. Obviously, the grade 8 coming in at number 8. I just thought of that right now. That was not planned, by the way.
Yeah.
Number 7. This guy has been a stud since he went to Manhattan. Artemi Panarin.
Another one guy.
Yeah, another Russian guy. He was actually undrafted into the NHL. He signed with Chicago straight out of the KHL from Russia. He was not drafted into the league. But I mean, he was great with Chicago. He was better with Columbus, but he's been an absolute monster since he signed with New York a couple seasons ago in free agency. Last season, 95 points, 32 goals, 63 assists, plus 36 in 69 games. Undoubtedly the best player on the Rangers last season for sure. Over the course of the last 3 years, he's got 87 goals, 177 assists, and a plus 73, 264 points in 229 games. And in his career, he's got 415 points in 391 games with a plus 99, 37 power play goals, and 29 game winners. I mean, this guy, considering he was not drafted into the NHL, he is having himself a career.
Yeah, whenever I saw that he was undrafted, I remember like when it reminded me, because I remember when it happened, like, oh, this random guy from Russia that wasn't even drafted is going to be on the Chicago Blackhawks now.
Yeah.
But like, I completely forgot about that. And to think that he's done this and not be drafted ever. His rookie year when he came to Chicago, he put up 77 points in 80 games. So
and not only that, but I do want to mention he won the Calder in his rookie season.
Yeah.
And Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel were rookies that year, and he beat out those guys.
So this guy just came in.
Yeah.
No, I don't need a draft pick. I'm just going to win the Calder over Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel. That's incredible. I didn't even. He was involved past season, first team All-Star this past season, and second team All-Star in 2017. He kind of came into Chicago though at the wrong time. He came the year after they won their final cup, and then he goes to Columbus, which has no hope, and he goes to New York, which he's pretty much, if Panarin doesn't go to New York, there's no point in the Rangers even starting to rebuild right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the Rangers now, look out for them, because now they've got Panarin, Zibanejad, and they just drafted Alexis Lafreniere, who is going to be probably a franchise forward in New York there. So, I mean, the fact that your first line could be Panarin, Lafreniere, and Zibanejad on the same line, because Lafreniere and Panarin, Lafreniere is a centerman, Panarin and Zibanejad are wingers. That could very easily be your first line in New York, and that could be like the Marchand, Pasternak, Bergeron line in Boston for sure.
Throw in last year's second overall draft pick, Capo Caco.
Yeah. Oh, Capo Caco. I forgot about him too. Yeah, the New York Rangers are in a good spot. They're definitely going to be competitive in the next few years for sure. But Artemi Panarin coming in at number 7. And he did see some success playing with Russia, obviously a gold medal in 2011 World Juniors, silver in the 2015 Worlds, and bronze in 2016 and 2017 Worlds. But in 2017, he had 4 goals, 13 assists, so 17 points in 9 games.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. Number 6, I believe is it your turn or my turn?
I'll take this one.
You can go.
I might run out of oxygen by the time that I.
Yeah, this guy has been his resume is unreal.
33 years old, Sidney Crosby from Nova Scotia, drafted first overall in 2005. He got 47 points in 41 games played this past season. Over the course of the last 3 years, he's got 236 points between 80 goals and 156 assists in 202 games. His career, he played 984 games, scored 462 goals, 801 assists, and 1,263 points, with a plus-minus of plus 175. And he's, of those 462 goals, 140 of them were on the power play, 64 game winners. His best season, however, did come over a decade ago, where he put up 120 points in 79 games played.
Yeah.
He's got 10 80-plus point seasons, 6 100-plus point seasons, 8-time All-Star, 2-time Conn Smythe, 3-time Stanley Cup. Though it just goes on and on. This guy, every single year.
And I've got a fun fact for you about Sidney Crosby. Did you know that he has some NFL experience?
No. How?
Well, I'm going to call out Jake here. He put Pittsburgh Steelers on the banner.
My bad, guys. My bad.
It's not. He's probably.
But no, Sidney Crosby, yeah, like you said, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, 2 times Conn Smythe winner in 2016 and 2017, and 2016 there, 24 games in the playoffs. He had 6 goals, 13 assists, 19 points, and then he had 27 points in the 2017 playoffs. 2-time Art Ross, 2-time Hart Trophy, 4-time Hart finalist, 3-time Ted Lindsay, and a 2-time Rocket Richard winner. The guy has absolutely everything. There we go. Jake fixed it. Thank you, Jake. And then internationally with Team Canada, the guy has silver with the World Juniors with Team Canada in 2004, gold in the World Juniors in 2005, Olympic gold in 2010, 2014, obviously scoring the golden goal in 2010 in overtime in the gold medal game against the States. That is very, very iconic in Canada.
Yeah.
And then 2015 World Championships, he got gold. 2016 gold in the World Cup of Hockey, where he was the MVP, leading scorer. And 2006 World Championships, Team Canada got 4th, but he had 16 points in 9 games. He was an all-star, best forward, and the tournament's leading scorer. I mean, there is nothing that Sidney Crosby has not accomplished in his NHL career.
And all the hype that was coming when he was 16, 17 years old, he lived, I think,
Yeah.
3 cups,
exactly.
Conn Smythes, gold medals for Canada. What else do you want from a guy?
And Sidney Crosby is the definition of a franchise forward who can change teams. When he got drafted first overall by the 2005 Pittsburgh Penguins, they were absolute garbage. And then Sidney Crosby comes in, rooms with Mario Lemieux, the iconic Pittsburgh Penguins player, for his first rookie year, And then 3 years after that, they win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Sidney Crosby played a huge part in that. He got 120 points in his rookie season. And, I mean, the guy was a monster. I mean, you could tell why it was called the Sidney Crosby sweepstakes that year, because he literally changed the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Absolutely.
Single-handedly. Number 5, this is a good old Boston Bruins player for Tim. Number 5, David Pastrnak, 24 years old, drafted 25th overall by the Bruins in 2014. He's a native of Czech Republic. Last season, he scored 48 goals, 47 assists for 95 points in 70 games. And a 21 plus minus. I firmly believe, because all throughout the year it was Matthews, Ovechkin, Pastrnak fighting for the most goals for that Rocket Richard. I had my money on David Pastrnak winning the Rocket Richard if the season wasn't cut short. If it was a full 82 game season, I think Pastrnak would have won it for sure. Just the way he was playing and the way the Bruins were playing before the league shut down due to the coronavirus. Over the last 3 years, he has 256 points, 121 goals, 135 assists over 218 games. And in his career, he's got 379 points in 390 games. He's a plus 63, 62 power play goals, and a 30 game-winning goals. He has not won a Stanley Cup because he came to the Bruins after the 2011 team, obviously, and before, like, he was signed by the Bruins the year after they were a finalist in the Stanley Cup finals in 2013. But he did make it to the Stanley Cup finals in 2019, obviously losing to the Blues. And in that playoffs in 2019, he scored 9 goals and 10 assists for 19 points in 24 games. So the guy shows up in big games. He was crucial to the Bruins this year, crucial in their playoff run in 2019, and he's a great young player for the Bruins.
He's crucial for the Bruins moving forward, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
4 years old. He's the guy that I think the Bruins need to build their roster around, because you got guys.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
On Bergeron, Krejci, they're all at least 32, 34 years old. At least Bergeron's got to be 34, 35. Krejci's 34, 35. Like,
Marchand's 32, so yeah.
We just went up and re-signed DeBrusk, so that was a good signing of a young guy. Mm-hmm. But Pastrnak, we have him at least, I think, 5 or 6 more years on his contract.
Yeah.
But unbelievable forward, unbelievable goal scorer. This past 2 or 3 years, that line dominated the NHL. Every time there was a power play, I was like, okay, how is Pastrnak going to score this time?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he's making a name for himself, just like Ovechkin is, as one of the best goal scorers in the league right now. Just like Ovi likes to set up on the top of the circle and just hammer one-timers all day, Pastrnak is more like a slot player. He'll sit in the high slot and just wait for the puck to come to him, whether it's a rebound or a pass or whatever, and he'll just fire home shots from the slot all day. And I mean, this guy is. Sorry, go ahead.
And he'll get hit too. Like in the slot, he's getting, like, defensemen are not nice in the slot. Like, he's getting hit in the.
He's getting hit. He's getting slashed behind the legs. He's getting everything, and he's just taking a beating there. But he still manages to put home shots there.
Absolutely.
I can take number 4. So number 4, Nikita Kucherov from the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's 5'11", 180 pounds, so he's an average body. He's not like he's an overall big guy. One thing that I do find interesting is that he shoots left, but he plays on the off wing. He plays right wing, which is very, very interesting. He was drafted 58th overall by the 2011 Tampa Bay Lightning, which I also find interesting that he was taken 58th overall. I thought for sure he was a first-round pick, but he was not. He's from Russia. Last season, he scored 85 points in 68 games, which is split between 33 goals and 52 assists and a plus 26. Over the course of the last 3 years, he has 113 goals, 200 assists for 313 points in 230 games. And in his career, he's got over a point per game as well, 547 points in 515 games, and a plus 128 for Nikita Kucherov. I mean, these Tampa Bay Lightning guys are just putting up career solid numbers, and 58 power play goals and 37 game-winning goals there for Kucherov. And his best season came in 2019, where he scored 128 points, 41 goals, 87 assists for 128 points in 82 games. He beat out like everyone, 128 points. Like that is crazy. That's like Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky numbers in the 80s.
And that best season, 2019, he won the Art Ross, the Ted Lindsay, and the Hart.
Rightfully so. I mean, 128 points
Yeah.
in 82 games.
It's too bad that Tampa had to choke that year and win it this year, because that would have been quite the run if he won the Art Ross, the Ted Lindsay, the Hart Cup. And then if that were to happen, he probably would have won the Conn Smythe too. But 3-time All-Star, 2-time first team All-Star, 2-time second team All-Star. Last playoffs where they won the Cup, he put up 34 points in 25 games. That's incredible. 7 goals, 27 assists, which I think is shocking because like everybody knows the whole Kucherov breakaway move. So I would have maybe he scored a couple more goals and didn't get as many assists, but he clearly was a playmaker this past playoffs.
I mean, absolutely. And then you look at his international achievements there with Team Russia. 2011 World Junior U18 team, he got bronze, where he scored in 7 games. He scored 11 goals and 10 assists. 21 points in 7 games. That's 3 points per game.
Unbelievable. Like
Crazy. And then 2012 World Juniors, he had 7 points in 7 games. 2013 World Juniors, where they got bronze, he had 8 points in 7 games. And then in the 2017 and 2019 World Championships, they got bronze both years, but he had 15 and 16 points respectively in both of those tournaments. So the guy is definitely a huge part, not only to the Tampa Bay Lightning, but to the Team Russia national team as well.
And he's 27 too, so he's got other 7 to 8 years where he could be that elite forward for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, hats off to Stevie Y. He left them in the best position anyone could ask for.
And that's why I will always say this: Detroit Red Wings, even though they suck ass right now, they are in the best possible hands with Stevie Y at the helm, because even the signings that Steve Yzerman did this offseason, Detroit's going to be a much better team next season.
Absolutely.
Number 3, Tim. Do you want to take number 3?
Yeah, I'll do number 3 because I want, number 1, I think I might leave to you, but number 3 title, 25 years old, from Germany. I think he's one of the only German-born players on our top 50. He was drafted 3rd overall in 2014 by Edmonton. He put up 110 points in 71 games played this past year, which I believe, that got him the Art Ross, the Ted Lindsay, and the Hart Memorial Trophy. Yeah. First team All-Star this past year, 2-time All-Star. Over the course of his career, he's put up 422 points in 422 games. So he's exactly a point per game player. Playing or they don't always play together, I don't think. Is it on and off, or are they always playing together?
The year that he had 110 points, or sorry, not last year, but 100 points. He had 100 points dead even. 2 seasons ago, he was on his own line.
Yeah.
He was a second line center, and McDavid was first line. But this past season, they were kind of on and off. Okay.
So he's still putting up points even without McDavid. The thing that's interesting to me is, and this kind of reminds me of Eichel, -7, -12, -24 when you're looking at past season, last 3 years, plus minus. So he's putting all these points up. He's just probably playing so much, like you said, that he's out for all the goals against as well.
And I mean, a lot of his points that Draisaitl gets is on the power play, because the Edmonton Oilers, even like last season, they had the top power play in the league. When you've got guys like McDavid, who's a first overall pick, Draisaitl, who went 3rd overall, Nugent Hopkins, who went 1st overall, and then you've got Darnell Nurse or Oscar Klefbom on the back end. And then you've got probably Zach Kassian or Alex Chason or someone just like that on the power play. The best power play right there. You've got if you have Nurse on the ice, you've got 2 first overall, a 3rd overall, and a 7th overall pick right there on the same power play. It's no wonder why it's the best power play in the league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No matter where Edmonton was in the standings last year, their power play was always 1 or 2 in the league.
Yeah, and it's an exciting time to be an Oilers fan. I mean, I always say that, but I mean, I firmly believe though, like coronavirus screwed everything up. I do not think the Oilers would have lost out in the first round like they did against Chicago. I do think that if the full season had went on, the Oilers would have made it at least to the second round again of the playoffs. But that being said, Draisaitl is definitely a beast. He's 6'2", 208 pounds, and I mean, the guys had back-to-back 100-point seasons, 105 points 2019, 110 points last year. It only gets better.
Absolutely.
You can take number 2 again.
Number 2, Nathan MacKinnon, Colorado Avalanche, 25 years old from Nova Scotia. First overall in 2013. He put up 93 points this past season in 69 games played. The last 3 years, he's scored 289 points. Of them, 115 were goals in 220 games. He's already played 500 games in his career, which I think is a little surprising. But 5 games played, 190 goals, 305 assists for 495 points, 39 plus minus. His rookie year, he put up 63 points in 82 games and brought home the Calder. So he's definitely a crucial piece to this Avalanche team. He's lived up to everything that's been expected of him. I think his next is bringing that cup back home to Colorado.
And I mean, what's really, really surprising to me looking at Nathan MacKinnon's stats is the fact that he's not over a point per game in his career.
Yeah. You're looking at all these guys and we're saying they're averaging over a point per game. And then you look at MacKinnon, you're like, whoa. But
I mean, the guy is consistently one of the best players in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you also remember when he came into the league, Colorado was not anyone to be taken serious with. They were terrible when he got drafted. Hence why first overall pick. Yeah,
and I mean now, like, they're consistently talked about as being a contending team for the Stanley Cup. They just haven't had the playoff luck that you know they should be getting. But you look at Nathan MacKinnon's accomplishments: 4-time All-Star. He was an All-Star for the past 4 years, from 2017 all the way to 2020. 2-time second-team All-Star. He won the Lady Byng this past year, and the Calder Trophy 2014, like you said, and then he was a Hart finalist in 2018 and 2020. And then in the playoffs in 2019, he had 13 points in 12 games, and in 2020, last season, he had 25 points in 15 games. So last season, he showed up in the playoffs.
Yeah, he absolutely shows up. Like you said, 4-time All-Star. He's got 3 90-plus point seasons the past 3 seasons. And internationally, he's just like any other Canadian, pretty much winning anything they play in. But 5 games played, 11 points in the 2012 U18. He won gold. 2015 World Championships, he won gold. He put up 9 points in 10 games. 2017 World Championships, silver. 10 games played, 15 points. So
and I mean, another thing too with Nathan MacKinnon here is the fact that he scored 289 points in 225 games over the past three years, but he doesn't have over a point per game in his career. That just goes to show me that he is emerging into a really, really top player in the league. And I'd say give it 2-3 seasons for sure. He's only 25 years old. So give it 2-3 seasons, he'll be over that career point per game hump in no time, because he's putting up 93 points in 69 games right now, you know? So, I mean, absolutely. And then number 1, everyone saw this coming when we made Nathan MacKinnon number 2. Number 1, our top 50, Connor McDavid, forward for the Edmonton Oilers, captain for the Edmonton Oilers. He'll be 24 years old this coming January. 6'1", 193 pounds, drafted first overall. Everyone knew he was going to be first overall in 2015. He's like Sidney Crosby. He's one of those franchise players that only comes around every so often. Last season, 64 games, 34 goals, 63 assists for 97 points, but he was a -6. What's really impressive to me about Connor McDavid is you look at Leon Draisaitl's plus-minus over his career, he's a -24. You look at Connor McDavid's plus-minus over his career, he's a +43. Which is really impressive to me. Over the last 3 years, he has, get this, 321 points, in 224 games. He has almost the same amount of assists over those 3 years that he played in games. Over the course of his career, 351 career games, 162 goals, 307 assists for 469 points already in his career. He's almost at 500 career points, and he's not even 24 yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
This list was obviously created by an Oilers fan. You know what? You know what, Jake? Tim helped me, so shut up. In his rookie season, though, in 2016, 48 points in 45 games. Now, I was going to mention this with Panarin, but Panarin won the Calder Trophy that year. But Connor McDavid was also injured for almost that entire season. That was the year that he broke his leg, was out for 37 games. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of why he kind of got stumped with the Calder there. But 3 100-plus point seasons, and he's only played 4 full seasons.
Like, he's absolutely gonna be the next Edmonton. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
3 100-point seasons already. Like you said, 100 points, 108 points, 116 points, 4-time All-Star, 3-time first-team All-Star. 2017, he won the Art Ross, Ted Lindsay, and Hart. Shane, you have 2 guys on your team right now that have won the Art Ross, the Ted Lindsay, and the Hart in the same year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are the 2 best guys for the Oilers to build around for their team. I mean, they're getting there. They got Ken Holland, who's an experienced general manager. They got Ken Holland working the ropes there. They're getting there. They signed some depth players in Kyle Turris, and I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Tyson Barrie was another big signing they did. So, I mean, they're getting better. They're getting there. You've got McDavid and Draisaitl. They're 1-2 punch up front there. And I mean, McDavid, like 97 is plastered everywhere in the city of Edmonton. Like Connor McDavid is an absolute god in Edmonton. And I mean, everyone talks about 99, Wayne Gretzky. 97, Connor McDavid is going to be in the same conversation for everyone in Edmonton and all Oilers fans. And I mean,
look at playoffs too. These only made 2 appearances, I believe, and that was 2017 when he got 9 points in 13 games. This past year when they lost to Chicago, 4 games played, 5 goals, 4 assists.
There we go. The real number 1, Derek England. That guy is a stud, Derek England. But then, yeah, Connor McDavid, obviously, like any other Canadian, goal and everything that he's played with internationally. 2013 U18s, he's got 14 points in 7 games. He was the MVP, best forward scoring leader. 2015 World Juniors, where he won gold. He had 11 points in 7 games, and he was an all-star. And then 2016 Worlds, he had 9 points in 10 games. So, I mean, the guy is incredible. Definitely, I'm so happy we have him on the Oilers, and I'm looking forward to the season for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised now.
So guys, that is the conclusion of our top 50 NHL players. There will be the number 20 to number 11 article coming out shortly after we go off air here. And then the top 10 will be released either Tuesday or Wednesday this coming week. And then that'll conclude our top 50. We should be live again on Inside the Ice on Thursday. I'm not sure about that. But also, for anyone watching, we recently created an Inside the Ice Instagram page that will be exclusive to everything on this show, since we have so many dedicated viewers. Definitely go give it a follow. It was created yesterday. Inside the Ice GCSN is the handle there for Instagram. So definitely go check that out and give it a follow. And we will see you guys next week sometime on Inside the Ice, won't we, Tim?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be live Thursday. So I'll see you guys Thursday.
We'll see you Thursday. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you then.